Halito everybody, welcome back. This is CT over at the newly changed channel. It's now Native Reality. We were NYC Indian, but I have decided to change the name of my channel. I'll go into that a little bit later. This is going to be a review about Married at First Sight last night, and this is going to be brought to you from a mixed urban Native American perspective and a secular perspective, so let's dive right on in. So I don't know if you guys saw the episode last night. Because it's been kind of rough getting through this particular season. Last night definitely provided some comic relief, but we'll get into that later. Oh my God, I can't even keep a straight face. This is just too funny. It was just too good. But I hope everybody's doing well. So we start off the episode. I think it was Clint and Gina, but they were being boring as usual, not making any progress. I wanted to talk about Mac because they have been slowly reintroducing Mac back into the fold, and they're trying to set us up for this spoiler that they gave us that we have literally been waiting 2 months. 2 months to get to. They know they were wrong because they knew this was a dry ass season, and they knew that they had to do something, dangle some kind of freaking carrot in front of us to keep us going. But anyway, okay, so so Mac is talking with Eris, and he's telling Eris about how he thinks Gina looks good. I think Gina probably thinks I look good too. And we had a mutual friend on, was it Instagram or something like that, and I wound up sliding in her DMs because apparently Eris was the one. He was like, what's this I've been hearing? So apparently word is out on the mass street already about what's going on. So I wonder who else knows other than Eris, right? So I'm like, oh, okay. So he finally made his play. Now, and he's grinning from ear to ear, like he really wanted to be on this show. Now, I don't know if he really wanted to be on the show for the purposes of marriage or what have you, but, it's like, why is he still hanging around? Dominica's not around. I mean, if they're no longer married, or at least they're in the process of getting their paperwork taken care of, I don't know how I kind of felt about that. It's like, you're not part of the process anymore. But, some people might feel like, well, because he kind of got cheated because she walked out so early, he still wants to be in it. But that's still not part of the Married at First Sight concept, which is meeting a blind partner that's been, selected for you. So, I mean, I don't know. I just kind of feel like he really shouldn't be on here anymore. Like, what's the point? But it's okay. I'm here for the drama. So Eris is looking around and like, do you know how Eris does? And I've kind of come to the conclusion, because I'm not the biggest Eris fan, right? We got this player from the Himalaya kind of vibe from him in the beginning of the season. But I'm thinking what it is with him. I think he is a non-committal person. I think he's a little, slightly empty inside. He's got some issues to work on. And but the main thing that I took away from him last night is that he is socially awkward. And I was like, that would explain why he doesn't make eye contact. And when he does make eye contact, it's always this weird kind of, he's just a little, I think he's a little nerdy and a little bit weird. And, and that's okay. And I think that maybe it kind of explains some of the disconnect he has with her. I don't think it's necessarily because he's repulsed by her, but I just think he's a little bit awkward. But I mean, he manages to make eye contact with other people, just very weird eye contact. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, that was my little revelation last night about him. So let's go over to but no, we'll just hold on. Let me not get off of this Clint and Gina thing here. He didn't say, and if he did, I missed it. I don't recall him saying that she reached back out to him, that she responded. Now, I don't know if he is a little bit more her type than, let's say, Clint would be. I'm just wondering. I mean, is this going to happen? Are the producers going to push this? The last time we had two people swap, it was Bao and Zach, and that wound up being an absolute nightmare. Just made her look bad. I mean, he already looked bad, but it wound up making her look bad. It was just terrible. So I don't know. I mean, do you guys think that Gina might be into Mac? I mean, I think Mac's a handsome guy. I do. So I mean, you never know. So now we're with Gina and Clint, and they go to this ranch for some kind of, I don't know, retreat or something. I don't know. But anyway, excuse me. I'm sorry. So he's upset, right? He's still mad from last week about how, she basically, what was it like? He was mad because she told the experts that she thought that he was a little bit weird and he was a little bit too like life of the party. He's not really serious. He didn't pursue her, and he's upset about that. And I'm like, but why? I mean, just because you guys are not getting, I mean, just because you guys are getting along on a platonic level doesn't really mean that when they're in front of the experts and they're asking what's the issue, you know, she's voicing that. And he's saying like, well, I felt blindsided, like she never told me that before. I don't know about that, Clint. I really don't know. I mean, Gina has definitely just been putting on a good face the whole time, strong front, think of, close your eyes and think of England kind of thing. But I still don't think that she ever, you know, made him feel or made him think like, okay, this is progressing. Now, she told us a couple times, oh, these are good moments where I think I might be able to see a future with Clint. But she never really demonstrated that with her actions to him. And her defense, she was saying, well, or she said this later on with the girls, like, I understand, like, when the guys are saying, yeah, I'm getting better at this, I'm getting better at that, but you're not actually showing action. And, Clint really hasn't. And I understand in a way, because he kind of felt like he couldn't, but, if you're still going to be in it, then you got to try to pursue her a little bit. I just felt like all the joking and stuff like that, he really was treating her like a buddy. It just didn't feel romantic at all. But again, he was probably just afraid of being rejected again. I don't know. This was just, dead on arrival. So now they so all the couples meet up with Dr. Pepper and Pastor Cal. So, they have the little home visits and stuff. So, one piece of progress anyway, we could say, is that Shaquille finally met Kirsten's dad. And thank God, because, I mean, he was so upset, he wanted to be included. And he said that, her dad was like really great. They had good interaction, and he feels like her dad would be accepting of her and stuff like that. And then, but with Shaq, there's always a but, right? He feels like it's a little bit too late. He's kind of lost his mojo. We've seen him kind of deflate since like episode, I don't know, 4 or something like that. I'm just guessing. But it was early on in the season. We saw him kind of not like really, like he was just like the air was let out of his tires. And, now that he has met her family, her full family, even though they haven't all sat down together yet, I think even though that's what he really wanted all along, I think he's checked out. I really do. I feel like there's nothing she can really say to make him happy. At the end of the day, I feel like he's just not her type to begin with. And even though she has grown some attraction towards him, the chemistry is still not quite there. And, I think she just wants a little bit more of an aggressive guy, basically, So, I mean, it's good that he got to meet the dad. I just, Kirsten, I think this should have probably have happened a little bit earlier. And she was saying, well, my dad is also not comfortable being filmed. And that's fine. You guys didn't film the interaction with him, last night either, right? We didn't get to see that, but at least we got to hear about it. I mean, you could have introduced him a little bit sooner. And I think sooner is better than later, because, I mean, what if dad sees some red flags right away and he wants to let his daughter know before things get too, well, I can't say get too serious because they're already married, but you know what I mean? In this particular situation, maybe he can say, oh, I recognize something bad about this. You got to keep your eye out. You know what I mean? Don't wait too long to introduce your spouse or your parent, like a parent that's present in your life. Just don't get. But anyway, so after that, oh, wait. Oh, God. I forgot. I totally forgot. So before we get to the meeting of Shaquille and Kirsten's father, they decided to go and have a song made And, it's Nashville. This is the country music capital, right? And, the woman's there, and they get to the studio, and then, Kirsten has to tell her about different aspects of her relationship so that, the woman can kind of create a song that's like, tailor made for these people. And oh my God, when Kirsten put on that headset, oh my, and make them happy. Yeah. Oh, let me tell you something. When she hit that first solo, I said, oh shit. Oh shit. Listen, I can't sing, okay? I cannot sing, but I know my strings, and you will not be listening to any of my reviews, having me like spit out a little diddle for you. I can't sing like that, all right? I applaud her for her vulnerability to be able to let down her guard and just to sing, knowing her voice sounds like that. I was like, oh my God, Kirsten. Oh my God, oh my God. But I think this is good. I think this is good because sometimes there's a stereotype out there that if you are a person of color, you are automatically Whitney Houston, honey. You could just born with a set of golden pipes. And I think she kind of broke that for us. I was like, I had not laughed. You guys, I had not laughed that hard in so long. I mean, so long. I mean, I was gasping for breath. The tears were coming down. There's some, I don't know about you guys, but it was always like this with me. All right, maybe it's just me. But like, remember when you were a kid in school and they would have the talent show and you would get somebody that would, try to sing and they couldn't sing really good. That used to just take me on the floor. It was almost like hearing Macy Gray's rendition of like the Star Spangled Banner. If you haven't heard that, you've got to Google that. And the rocket, regular. Oh my God. It sounded like she had just finished smoking like 16 packs of cigarettes before she did that Star Spangled Banner. It was just hilarious. It just puts me on the floor. That was so goddamn funny. I have not laughed through the season. I've been pushing through these episodes, but last night, honey, that was some good comedy relief. I needed that. And shout out to Kirsten, because that is not an easy thing to do, to get on TV like that. But girl, oh, damn. Anyway, so getting back to the scene. So yeah, so they finish and wrap up, and she's having a really good time, and she's feeling great in front of the microphone, and she's got that little smile, and oh God, that was just too good. That was just like comedy gold right there. So all right, so now it's time for everybody to meet up. So the girls go out with the girls, and the guys go out with the guys, and they're like, talking about their relationships. And, one thing that I notice is that Jasmine is feeling like, they've had a lot more positive interaction, because Jasmine and Eris said when they sat down with Pastor Cal and Dr. Pepper that, they're starting to hold hands, and they're starting to, have little phone conversations during the day to check on one another. He's doing that to her, I should say. And that, Eris feels less frustrated because he feels like she's speaking up for herself more, and, she's not so closed off. So, okay, yeah, that's fantastic. Great. Moving on, because she tells the girls that, he's saying this to the experts, but she needs to see some action. And action is what she saw later on in the episode. So the girls, they're dancing, and these guys come up to them, and they start asking them about their husbands, and they start talking about, the process that they're in. And, some of them are very, like Kirsten, she's real closed off. She's like, no, you're not going to catch me on camera. No. And Nicole, of course, because Nicole, listen, let's just get down to the brass tacks, right? before they even got to the dancing and the cocktails, Nicole is literally holding court, honey. She's like, so how do you feel about this? And do you feel that that interaction was actually genuine? I mean, she's just giving us her best Barbara Walters, right? So, when she gets in front of these guys, you can see her body language. It's like, oh, what do I do here? I got to see a little, she didn't do anything wrong. But you could see a glimpse of Nicole in the club that she was telling Chris about, that she was so bad or whatever. But, you could tell she was holding back. She was really holding back, and that's a hard thing to do for Nicole. But I think she was attracted to somebody in that group. But, so then the one guy, he's really pushing up hard on Jasmine. I mean, he's really pushing up hard on her. And she's like, Jasmine's not very good at, she's not as good as Kirsten, like, get out of here, I got a husband. But I was like, you know what? Go ahead. Just soak it all in, because it looks like it's going to be, actually a D-Day on D-Day, right, to me. Get the attention. She needs a little bit of that. She needs to be feeling like she's, desired and stuff like that. So I felt that was a very healthy situation, as long as, no numbers were exchanged or anything like that. But then again, I mean, who knows? Well, you probably should. I mean, if you did, just do it off camera and make sure nobody can see see it, and wait till you're done with your decision day. But I mean, I just feel as though if she were to meet someone right now, I would not be mad. I wouldn't be mad, because she's getting nothing from Eris. Absolutely nothing. Those dead shark eyes, So anyway, and also remember, guys, now as they are at this bar, I don't know exactly at what point in the episode, but at least up until the point, or at least at the point that they are at the bar hanging out, that is the day before decision day. So next week will be decision day. And, we'll see. My original predictions, okay, I said from the beginning, Nicole and Chris will say yes, and everybody else will say no. Not no like 6 months after decision day, but say no on decision day. So we may have some shocks and some surprises, but hopefully it's a wrap for all these couples, because I'm not seeing it. So let's see. What was that? Oh yeah. So at the end of the night, the women come home and they recap like what happened with the guys trying to talk to them and everything like that. I mean, which is kind of smart, because they'll see it on TV when they watch it later on. And I mean, that was about it. I mean, it wasn't I wasn't doing any cartwheels or backflips in this episode as usual. I'm just hoping that whatever nonsense that they're going to do, this carrot dangling shit that they have with Mac and whatever, Dominique and Clinton, I hope all of this happens next week. I just can't, my heart can't take anymore. And I doubt we'll get it next week. They'll probably still keep us dangling, because decision day, I'm not certain, but I don't know if you guys remember, I feel like decision day usually is broken up into 2 days, or do they do all the couples on the same day for decision day? Oh, I think they do all the couples, because there's only 4 couples. You're going to spread out a 2-hour episode for 2 people to say, I'm done with this relationship. I hope not. I hope we get all the answers we need by next week, and then everybody can start kissing and swapping and all that stuff later on. So that's it. That's all I got, guys. I just wanted to mention about the name change for the channel. So that is something that I have been thinking about when I originally started this, I almost said podcast, when I started this channel. No, rewind. When I started my account, my YouTube account, I was just like anybody else, right? You just pick something, I'm from New York and I'm Native American, so, and very active in my culture. So I wanted to just like, that was just like my name, the NYC Indian. But, in Native communities, especially now as, movements are happening, missing and murdered Indigenous women and land back and, pipelines going through communities, and all these issues have come to the fore. Just a lot of language and a lot of things have been changing in the Native community, and it has been It's been a question that I've been asked before several times. Do you say, what's the correct thing? Do we say native? Do we say Indian? Do we say, indigenous? And, I always say indigenous is very safe. A lot of people, are okay with that. It seems like the direction that kind of things are headed into are kind of going more towards an indigenous identifier, I guess you would call it. So, for some people, the term Native American, is okay. For some people, when you say Indian, it's a word that we use amongst each other, but it's not something that is can always be looked at as necessarily a positive thing. For some people, Indian is very offensive in terms of being called that by someone who is not also native themselves. So just to kind of, catch my channel up with what's going on now and everything like that, I want to be as respectful as possible, and I'm not just a spectator anymore, right? I'm literally, this is a platform, so I want to do that as responsibly as I can. You will hear me use the terms native and indigenous interchangeably, but, I just decided that native reality would be a good title, and we can talk about all kinds of things that are reality TV, my reality, the indigenous community. This is powwow season. There's a lot of stuff going on. I got some beadwork going on. If there's anything that you guys are interested in terms of like Native American art and pop culture, you guys can go check over my channel, or on my channel I have the Chickasaw Chat, which talks about Native stuff, and yeah, that's about it. So going forward, it's going to be the Native Reality Show, or the Native Reality Channel, I should say, not the show. So I will hopefully not be tripping over my tongue when I say that, because I have to get used to it. I've had my YouTube account for oh my God, just I don't know, a decade or something like that. So that's it, guys. I will see you on Monday for 90 Day Fiancé the other way. No more Love After Lockup right now until they start that again. And on Thursday again for Married at First Sight. Please, if you enjoyed the channel, enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Make sure your notification bell is on so you know when I'm going live, and we can chit chat. And that's it. All right. I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves. I hope you're staying safe, because even though the World Health Organization has officially declared that COVID is no longer an emergency, it is still something that is, people do still die from that. So it's a part of our daily reality. So please be safe, wash those hands and all that good stuff. All right. Take care. Stay safe. And Chipi Salacho.